Summer Game Fest for 2025 just wrapped up, which means it's time for my annual run-through of the games that piqued my interest from the hundreds that featured across the various showcases. The first event on the schedule was the State of Unreal, which I didn't watch. But they brought up
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is an absolute masterpiece from Sandfall Interactive, and it's now a serious contender for Game of the Year.
So I have to include it as a highlight since Expedition 33 has become one of my favorite games of all time. Sony's State of Play came packing this time around with announcements for Neo 3, more Astrobot challenge levels, and Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. They gave us a first look at 007 First Light, but the highlight has to be Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, a new tag team Marvel fighting game, but with Arc System Works at the helm instead of Capcom. The Japanese-influenced art direction is awesome, and the fact that it's 4v4 means that the action looks chaotic, but insanely fun too. Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest presentation at first seemed a bit preoccupied with games with Roman numeral 2s in their title cards, but in between those sequels we got looks at cool-looking originals like Mouse P.I. for Hire, Stranger Than Heaven, as well as Tower and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree.
Savor each moment!
But my highlights were from good old reliable Capcom. They announced the new characters coming to Street Fighter VI in Season 3, they offered another look at Onimusha Way of the Sword,
but there's only room for one at the top, and it won't be a coward who runs for jewels.
And of course the top highlight, the return to Raccoon City for Resident Evil Requiem.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Day of the Devs followed on from Key 3. They spotlighted new games from fan-favorite indie devs like Possessors from Heart Machine and Blighted from those creative masterminds at Drinkbox. But the titles that rarely seemed to steal the show were a couple heist games. Snap and Grab has you playing as a photographer, taking pictures so as to help plan heists for her henchmen to carry out, whilst Relooted has you sneaking into Western museums to reclaim African artifacts and then hightailing your way out of there. From South African based in Yamakop, with people from 12 different African countries working on the game, it's awesome to see local devs featured on a global platform like this. Devolver had a typically fun presentation, but unfortunately only had one game to show.
This is how I imagined my studio would look like if Devolver Digital gave me enough funds to make my own studio.
Are you the only one here?
Yes, it's just me.
There's like 5 of us, Kenny.
So whose studio is this?
So,
but I think we can let it slide, since for a game based on such a simple genre, there's a lot more going on in Ball Pit than being just your typical brick breaker.
Ball Pit, the brick breaking, the ball fusing, the base building, survival roguelite in partnership with Devolver Digital.
Saturday kicked off with the Wholesome Direct. I loved the look of this chill city builder, Islanders New Shores, but what I loved even more was seeing a release window for Gecko Guards. We'll finally be able to solve environmental puzzles with lizards later this year. Yet again, the Future Games Show was my pick of the showcases during SGF. They always have a wide variety of interesting looking games. And it doesn't hurt that they always have top tier actors as hosts, with Matt Mercer and Laura Bailey at the helm this time around. Everything is just always 10 times better when Laura's involved. They showed off interesting looking games like Echoes of the End and Constance. But I got really excited when the spotlight landed upon Ericsson. This isometric stealth game with beautifully rendered cutscenes is one of my more anticipated games of the year, and they announced that it'll be hitting storefronts in just a month's time. Xbox threatened us with Silksong news, but that was about it on the Silksong front. Otherwise, they announced Persona 4 Revival and offered an extended look at Clockwork Revolution. Mutang looks interesting, but my highlight was Resonance. I honestly wasn't fully enamored with the trailer until I saw this at the end. I'm 100% in on any game set within the Plague Tale universe. After Xbox was the PC gaming show. As usual, fun was to be had with hosts Day9, Mika and Frankie. They gave us new looks at Dispatch, a 1.0 release date for the Rogue Prince of Persia, and showed off this cool looking rhythm-based action game, Fresh Tracks. So those were my picks for SGF 2025. Not the biggest year in terms of stuff that gets me super excited, but still a good variety of games to look forward to nonetheless. Ultimately, I think my game of the show was probably RE9.
Grace Ashcroft,
Yes?
my office.
Coming.
On a completely unrelated note, since this is the first time I'm posting a video since my Discovering Twice one, I just want to say thanks to all who watched it. The response has been wonderfully generous and heartwarming, and so until next time, thanks for watching, and while you're waiting for This Is 4, go play Expedition 33.
Absolute masterpiece.